my involvement.
Right.
That's most of them get involved.
Gotcha.
I got one. You sitting at a date's house and you see a roach run across the wall.
Are you kidding me? Why would
Get
you?
involved?
Why would you just destroy?
You
the
kill
whole
it.
conversation?
This is mind your business.
You kill it because
You mind your business.
You let that roach go.
You start looking at your watch.
Even if that roach run across your lap.
I got a good one. Y'all to a date, okay? And I'll find out that he's screwing somebody else. As y'all friend, do I get involved or do I mind my business?
That. Wait a minute. Who friend? Who?
Well, that's that. Yeah,
Wait,
you're
but
always
whose friend are you?
somebody's friend, though.
Whose friend are you?
You the friend?
I'm his friend.
Okay,
I'm his friend.
okay, and he's
and I
cheating.
know that he's fucking around with somebody else.
Oh, you goddamn it! You better tell him. If you don't, then I beat you down. You better tell him. You better tell him that
It
I
depends
seen
on
him.
how close you guys are.
No, he said the two of them are friends.
I understand that, but it'll depend on how close you are because
No,
if you're
that's
not
not
that close,
That's not
and you
cool.
tell Andres that I'm cheating on him, and Andres is the type who's gonna forgive me, guess what happens after he forgives me? You're no
Then
longer
you go
His
bye
friend,
bye.
right.
Bye bye.
Yeah.
You right. You
So,
right.
like I said, it
That's
depends
true.
on how close of a friend you are.
That's
Now, if
true.
he's one of your good Judies that if you know you're not gonna, he's not gonna say nothing or do nothing, then I mean, you know, after you tell him that he's still gonna be your nigga, you tell him. But some people, you tell them and then we argue it out. Fuck that, and now we okay. Haha, I love him.
And we like
This nigga gotta go. I
And then
said,
you
God,
gonna tell him that you told him. You told
Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Now. You're not even involved anymore.
That's crazy.
And that's one of those things.
And you
mind your
doing
business.
your good Samaritan work.
Wow. That is interesting.
doesn't matter. Just-
Okay.
I have one.
Let's hear it.
A couple of years ago, I had a roommate, and they let me know that their status and whatnot, but yet they had a revolving door. A friend of mine came over to stay the night. Ended up being in that revolving door. Do you get involved?
You tell them or do you not? You can involve them. You let it go.
Once again, it's one of those things of how close
If
you are with
close
this
you are,
friend.
now I can see that now on that scale of how close we are as friends. So how close were you with that friend that came over through that revolving door?
Well, I mean, we were cool. We were cool.
And let's keep it real. Is it someone you were cool with or a friend? Because a lot of people like to misconstrue the two. Like, is he an acquaintance or is he a friend? Like, is it someone you just know?
I actually, low
You know
key,
what I mean?
low key, you know, honestly, I mentored him.
You what?
I mentored him.
Thank you.
And basically,
But that don't mean nothing.
actually it means everything.
It doesn't define your friendship just because you mentor him.
It does, but the way that I handle it, because I war with myself as to how I should deal with that situation. Because here it is, it's not my place to go and disclose anyone's status. I would never do that. However, what I did was, all I said was, I hope that you were a responsible adult since you wanted to go be grown.
Okay.
And then, long story short, there was we had a little bit of a conversation, and then that's when things started to come. It came out.
This is very interesting. Not to interrupt, but I just think this is extremely interesting to hear everyone's stance that they take on situations like this, because we're talking about everyday situations that are occurring, and it's always that burdening question: do you get involved or do you mind your business? And in a lot of situations, I find myself minding my business because you don't know how the person is going to react to you. If you are thinking that you're actually helping them, they might take it a whole nother way and just tell you, Wes, mind your motherfucking business, is none of your concern. And so when you think you're being a good friend, I don't know, it's very difficult.
But I think that you know your friends. Your friends.
Sometimes you never know.
Yeah,
Because I will say say this real quick. Sorry to interrupt, but I will say this: that I may have an understanding of our friendship that I may have one understanding, and you may have a whole nother understanding.
That's true.
The way I view our friendships, we could be the best of fucking friends.
Okay.
But you might think that Mark down the street is your best friend, and I'm thinking I look at you completely
But just
different.
because you're my best friend doesn't mean I have to be your best friend. Remember that.
Oh, that's a good
But
one.
that's what I'm saying. That's all about perception.
I thought that
No,
was
it's
all
not
about
perception.
I
It's
thought
not
that was a
perception.
mutual
It is. It is.
No,
because at the end of the day,
I can love you just as much as you love me, and you are my nigga till I die.
I don't know about all that.
But if I'm your best
I
friend,
don't
it's
know about all
because I've extended a much deeper relationship for you to attach to. Not saying you didn't extend it for me, but I have a greater bond with this person. This is more of my best friend.
Well, I've never.
But that doesn't mean that I'm just because you're my best friend or I'm your best friend that you're my best friend too.
I think that's crazy. I don't buy with that.
best friends.
I don't buy with that.
Best friends is a mutual thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm not gonna call you my best friend if
Not
you're not gonna
always.
call me.
Some people do attach to you more than you attach to them.
Yeah.
Okay,
But
you
not in the
use it as a
classification of
friend.
best friend.
But
I know
best
some
friend
people
means
say,
that it's a
"Oh, we best
mutual
friend," like,
thing.
no.
No, it's
brother.
not. Why is it a mutual thing? You're my best friend. I don't have to be your best friend because you're my best friend. You have made an influence
Yeah, no,
in
the
my
options.
life. My life. It's
You're
my
right.
life. You're my best friend. It's not our best friendship. You're my best friend. It's individualized. It's not grouped together.
I love
just
you.
because.
And
Right.
I want you
Yeah,
to
if you're the
Okay.
only person I have to talk to, but then you have two other people to talk
Right.
to, then yeah, you are.
But that's what I'm saying.
technically
That's why it's very difficult to figure out whether or not it's easy to say if you know who your friend is, because a lot of times we have different various views of what a friendship actually is.
between each other, you're saying.
Right, and as far as getting involved in somebody's relationship or issues or whatever they have going on in life, people might not want you to be involved, and then so as I think for me, I just find myself just not getting involved.
Well, then
You can't do that all the time.
Tell me then.
Don't tell you. So let me
I
ask
got
you:
one.
if you knew your man was cheating, would you want to know from me? And we're not even that tight, but our current situation, what we got going on.
Okay. Right now.
Right now. We've been doing the Culture
Okay.
Club. We
Straight
see each
up.
other frequently at the parties or whatever.
Uh-huh.
Would you want me, if I see Joe out there
Uh-huh.
getting head from somebody on the curb,
Uh-huh.
would you want me to be like, hey, I just want to let you know I saw Joe
At Club Orlando.
at Club Orlando getting fellatio from someone.
You goddamn right. You better tell me. Because I feel like, how dare you, West, sit in my face, talking and laughing with me, bounding up,
Right.
picking it up, drinking with me, hanging out with
Right.
me. And then you gonna sit up and you know that my boyfriend is out here fucking off, and I don't know anything about this, because then in my mind, I'm gonna feel like I'm stupid. I don't know. Damn right, you better tell me. But that's with anybody.
Just make
I
sure
would
you
feel
tell
like
me on the side.
I feel
Don't
like
tell me in
that.
front of
Right? Of
everybody.
course not.
Well, yeah, that's
But I mean, I feel like I can appreciate that from you as a friend to me, or as a Culture Club buddy, or the associate, or whatever.
Lesbian.
To tell either in that too, to tell me that, hey, listen, you might want to check old boy, because I did see him sliding on the side doing his own thing. I can appreciate that because I want to know.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That's how I feel.
You know, because with my mind, here I am. I'm Jeremy. I'm walking around.
Right.
I got me and my boo.
But
Hey,
would you
y'all,
bring
guess
him
what?
into it, though?
Me and boo just
No.
I wouldn't dare.
Okay.
I would not dare.
Well, I think if you tell somebody something like that, you should be prepared to be brought in there. Get the fuck out of here. If Wes tells me, yo, I'm not.
I mean, in worst
let me
case
finish. If
scenario.
Wes tells me, yo, I saw Drew on Friday at Pulse, and he was in the corner, you know what I'm saying?
Slobbing up.
So when I go to approach Drew on it, you're my friend. Fuck how he feels. You're my
saying,
friend.
Well, he's not saying
Yes,
friend.
he is.
He's
He
saying,
said, would you drag him into
right,
it?
but
You're
he's
fucking
not-
right.
Right, but
When
he's
I
not
told
saying a
Drew-
friend though. He's saying like as an associate.
No,
like,
he's talking about
in a
this
setting
situation,
right now.
right? If Wes asks you in this situation
Right.
right now, if Wes tells me the whole situation with my nigga at the club, when I approach Drew on it,
Oh, you
I'm
gonna-
gonna tell him, yo, Wes told me he saw you in the corner with some dude. What the fuck is up? And if he approached Wes on it, Wes has to be ready because he's my friend. He's not Drew's friend.
Okay.
So when you come to me, I'm gonna approach something like that because for my friend, not my acquaintance, because I don't look at him as an acquaintance.
Okay.
When my friend tells me that he saw my man kissing another dude in the corner at a club, then you're gonna be ready for my man to come at you and be like, you told him this? Yes, I did.
So let me
something,
ask
I
you, would you
saw
want me to tell you?
You fucking right. We friends. We're not acquaintances. We're friends.
Trust me.
You done chopped me like
If your man was doing something, I would have approached him already and called you like, I just saw Drew doing this. I approached him.
Oh, I ain't finna do all that.
You know what?
So TC already knows. TC gonna get involved. TC gonna get involved on the extra slide. On the extra slide.
What the fuck you doing?
I understand.
No, I agree with
We
him.
have. I think we have that type of connection.
Yeah,
No,
I
but
understand.
this goes beyond
Being-
Culture Club. Though.
Yeah.
You talking about y'all two? This way
because I
past
would do the
Culture
same
Club.
thing with his dude.
But I would have handled it a little
Now-
bit differently
I
because
ain't gonna
I would.
lie. Nah, Dwayne. Trey. Now, if I seen Dwayne fucking off with some shit like that, you damn right. I'm be like, the hell you doing? You know what the hell going on? Because it's closer than this right here. You understand what I'm saying? So yeah, y'all two are much closer than all of us in here. So yeah, naturally, I would see you doing that, but I wouldn't see.
So now let me ask you a
myself
question.
as- Okay.
After you corrected Dwayne, right? Would you tell TC, or would you leave it in your hands to be like, I corrected him, I told him that that is not.
I think if you know the person that you're dealing with, then that'll answer whether or not you get involved or mind your business. For me, I like if I actually get on people's nerves, but I like to know everything. And so for me, I want to know. But let's just clarify some of the categories that we said and talked about. If I'm cool with you, and I know that your man is out there being uncool, do you want to know? Everybody, I want to know. Tell me. Do you want to know?
Yes, of course I
You want to know?
I don't think it's about being cool. I think it's more make sure your information is correct and accurate.
If you know
Analytical, honey.
if I
No, I mean honest.
If I visually
See them kissing in
Your
the middle of the
move,
club,
right.
then yeah, tell me.
Okay. You said you want to know. Do you want to know?
What he said.
Do you want to know?
Of course.
So, okay, next category we touched on. If I'm talking to someone and they have a virus or they have an STD or they're positive in some sort of way, do you want to know? Do you want to know?
Wait a minute, but that again goes to how close you are with that.
That's why we're asking now. I'm asking for my own benefit because just in case. Do you want to know?
That's hard.
But wait, are you having this adult conversation with the person which you're trying to be involved with?
No,
I'm just getting
this
clarification on the.
This
We
was
mentioned
from your situation.
Right. We mentioned various topics, and no one ever
that's
said do
personal
they really
accountability,
want
or-
to know or not know. So that's I
But
mean
it's
to
a
the
personal
root of-
accountability because for me,
No.
I'm gonna ask the questions regardless.
No, we're talking about from what your situation when you said that
As a friend.
that I know that he up here slupping dumping with all these people. And my friend come with.
It still
that's
boils
what
down to the
I'm
personal
saying.
accountability, though.
But okay, so if I got my friend fucking off and I know he fuck off with everybody and I know his situation, then you my friend, you come over and you fuck
it's
off.
not my
with him.
business. Even, and this is just me. Even though you are my friend, truth be told, it's not my place to go tell my other friend's business.
Right.
Because
why would you do that?
Because at the end of the day, at 2015, we all know about the different. They got PrEP, they got Trivida, they got all this other stuff that's out there. So if you want to be adult enough to go out and mess around with somebody, you should be adult enough to ask those important questions.
Okay, but
let's be real. Everybody doesn't ask those particular questions.
Okay, then
whatever.
you deserve whatever it is.
That's
I
not
don't- I
cool.
would say
That's
you
not cool.
deserve-
Yeah,
no,
I
you
would-
don't.
That's not cool.
But no,
That's not cool.
and now, in all honesty, the reason why, in all honesty, you deserve whatever it is because
Ooh.
this day and age, we are not in the 80s because HIV became prevalent in 1983, which was the year in which I was born.
You should.
I mean,
wasn't it 75?
My master's is in public. Watch it. My master's is in public health. So therefore, I have been doing research. I have a project that's due tomorrow. But regardless,
That's very close-minded of you to say something like
no,
that.
no. It's very responsible and accountability. The thing about it is,
I kinda agree with that.
there's a personal accountability. This day and age, you are responsible for you. If you don't give a damn about who the fuck you laying down with, then you deserve everything in which you get because you should be asked.
Right, but then that
No,
you just
His wording is incorrect. His wording is incorrect.
Hear me out. Let me be clear.
Effectively communicate right now.
Effectively communicating. If you are not asking,
you done showed me a side.
if you are not asking as an adult,
So you
because
would say,
sex,
okay.
because no, let's break it down to
I'm listening.
the basics.
Yes.
Sex is an adult act, right?
Damn right it is.
If you are grown enough to lay down with somebody else, you should be grown enough to ask the important questions. Are you STD free?
Okay, so
But
guess
it's
what?
not even just
Hold on.
that.
Okay, go ahead.
Not to
man.
cut you off, but to me, when you have sex with anybody, you should always treat everybody as if they have an STD, and if they are.
You should always
positive.
protect yourself,
So you should always
right.
protect yourself regardless of any situation. And I agree with you. I'm not saying that the latter part where you said that they deserve what they. I don't agree with that part. But what you're saying
Consequences and
is you should
repercussions.
always protect yourself regardless of the situation.
Exactly.
So.
See, but that's not
Okay, but
what
let me
was
ask you
being
this.
asked. What was being asked, the point he was trying to make was,
Would
would
say
you want
to your
him to
friend,
tell
right.
you that person?
I would say no because it's your personal
No, because it's your
responsibility.
personal-
No, okay, but I'm gonna hit y'all all right now, because at the end of the day, I could ask Jeremy, do you have anything he could tell me? No, we could fuck Wham Bam Bam, thank you, ma'am. But you saw his paperwork.
What?
So this fool right here could be lying out his
That's what I was
asshole.
gonna
But
say.
you physically saw his paperwork and know the truth.
Or you know
So-
he gave it to somebody.
Right. So at the end of the day, yes, you should. Because don't just automatically assume that, okay, I'm an adult, I'm supposed to ask those questions. I asked him the questions, but he just lied.
It still falls back on you because
You should be not
still
having
chose-
sex, unprotected
Right,
sex.
Exactly.
In 2000.
I mean,
I'm gonna
okay,
tell you right now, our friendship is ending. I'm gonna tell you right now. If I'm dating someone
I
and they
you
have
have unprotected sex.
no, but still, like
Exactly.
even still, because at the end of the day, I don't. Even if I
Because
choose
you're-
not to have, even if I choose not to have unprotected sex, I'm having sex with somebody. Period. I don't care. That doesn't. I want to know, and if you know that information, yes, you damn right. Don't just. I don't know. I can't. I
But
can't deal with that.
to me, in all honesty, to me,
I can't.
that's evading your own personal accountability.
That's not a friendship to me. I don't
No,
think
but
that's a friendship.
you just said that you would be like, hey girl, bitch, sis.
My only question would be,
You
did
might
you
be
ask the
that-
right questions?
So
If you say,
That's not a
so
friendship.
every person that you interact with, you go in asking those questions.
For me, hell yes. Because I have two people that are like,
Okay, so what happens with 90% of those people who tell you they don't have it but they got it?
Right.
Well,
you
bitch,
still
So you sleep with them
Right.
in the aspect and the respect of they don't got nothing. God forbid the condom.
well, for
breaks,
me, I'm
and now you're
protecting myself
sick.
regardless.
And now you're sick. So God bless you, but you deserved everything you got because you.
because that was a choice in which you made.
No,
it
you
was a
deserve
choice.
it.
No, right.
It was a
Right, that's crazy.
Listen,
Situation.
You
okay.
didn't deserve it. It was just fucked up what happened. Like I know of so many people who
There-
have had safe
For
sex.
every action,
still
there's
end
equal
up being
opposite
positive.
reaction.
That's crazy.
They don't deserve
I mean,
to have.
that's
I
how
don't
you
think
feel, that's
anyone
how you
deserves
feel.
to have the virus.
Of
Even
course,
if you make
no one-
fucked up mistakes, that's like saying someone.
No
who
one
smokes
deserves
weed.
it per se.
That's like
but-
saying someone who smokes weed, they get pulled over and they have weed in the car. Because you know weed is illegal, that means you deserve to go to jail automatically.
Depending upon
Not
the
knowing the backstory of it, that they could have cancer or they're HIV and they don't have. You don't know the story. So to say that they deserve what they get is really, really hard.
That's- yeah.
There are repercussions for you and consequences for your actions.
of course.
Absolutely.
But the harsh
to
reality
say,
of it
to
is
say that someone deserves such a
But the harsh
life-
reality-
I think that you just
No.
honestly
No.
we'll edit this out. But that was like straight bottom of the barrel for you to say that they deserve.
No, it is.
But you said they is right. That's his belief,
Right.
and I
But
said
at the end of the
you
day-
Rock all
said they
day.
deserve it. Now
I'll
come
say,
on,
yeah,
now,
I don't
damn,
really
they
think-
What's the
deserve
next
it.
category? What's the
Shit.
All right,
Well,
so
what's the next one?
it's my turn,
Damn.
and my category is gonna be.
Still love you.
Shit, that was the last one. Thought you were gonna do.
No, I didn't do one. Why you?
All right, here we go.
Mine.
Mine is. Why do you believe they deserve it?
Wow.
let me
No. It was
No,
I
ain't got to back.
Okay, no. Okay, ready?
It was too much.
Actually, I'm glad that nobody mentioned mine because I saw mine once I looked at the list for the first time today. And
Talking about shit, talking glorified about
it was sent to me on Friday, but I just looked at it today.
Right.
Mine would be, and this is a good question, almost kind of like the feminine mask, but are you all the time?
Oh, that's good.
And if you really think about it, and this is just my personal opinion, if you think about it, you don't do
Ignore it.
that.
Just keep going. You supposed to keep going.
If you think about it, you're not you all the time. Because you have to put on these different personalities for these different types of groups
facades
and different. So I think that no matter how much you try to stay true to who you are, you're always gonna be somebody else for somebody else. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I think it goes to people laugh at it, but everyone has a couple of characters under their belt. And it's up to you when you pull that character out. You know what I mean? Because you have a generalization of the type of people you hang out with. It's always going to be the same type of people that you choose to be your friend.
But to add on to that, just because I'm different with Jeremy and different with TC and different with Hector does not mean that I'm not being myself. So I just wanted to add that there are different sides to every person, every human being. As long as it's true to who you are, period, I think you're still being you. But I hate when people are like, why are you being different?
You're being fake.
Why are you being fake? What is this? I've never seen this side. Okay, well, you've never seen this side because me and TC's camaraderie is different than me and Andreas's or me and Tayron's, and that's just the way that it is. Sometimes you naturally click in a different way with this person than you would with another person. Case in point, me and Michael can be like, hey bitch, hey girl, but then me and Mark can be like, yo, what's up my dude, you know, what's up? That doesn't mean that I'm being fake or not being the same person. It's just I act differently with different people because that's just the way we associate with each other. So I think for me, speaking for me, I am me all the time, but there are different sides of me. So
correct. I would say as far as the way I act at work is not the way I act around
Of course.
any other environment. It's just not gonna work.
Those are two different things.
Two different things. But I would say also with me moving here and not knowing anybody, when y'all guys first met me, like I met these people through over time. But as you see, I myself have evolved into being who I am. Like the people who I know back home, they know who I am. But you guys really don't know me, but you're getting to know me. And as I become more comfortable, I do say things. I do act a different way. Not act a different way, but I'm more of who I am than who I was before. But that don't mean I'm any different than who I am. It's just I'm growing with you as our relationship.
You're allowing us to see more of you.
Right.
You're letting your hair down.
You used to do drag. You used to do drag.
No, I mean I told you I did balls, and you didn't know that. You was like,
Did you? What did
yes.
What did you want?
I used to want school board realness.
Get out of here.
Realness.
With a twist. With a twist.
But you know what? He looked at me like I would. No, I didn't. No twist.
What house?
Escada.
Mark.
But
He's light skinned. He can do that.
when I said it to him, he looked at me like, really? You used to want balls?
Did you really? That shocked me.
Yeah, when he told me, I was like, what happened?
I know, you threw the pillow away.
How the hell?
It's right now.
Please, Karen. Yeah.
Anything you want to add to that?
Are you all the time, TC?
I try to be.
Okay.
I don't try to put on a face for one particular person. No, I think I'm me.
Are you all the time at work?
Yeah.
Okay. Because usually that's where people have to put on the main facade. If you think about it, because the way I could joke and other words say a cuss word here, when I get to work, it's very proper, very professional, very intellectual.
Like how you try to convey yourself on here with you being very PC.
No, I'm professional.
Right. So here's my category that I think, or topic that I want to talk about. Can your boo and your friend hang out without you?
Well, let TC answer. He's already said.
What?
They can.
Did I win?
They can.
they can't.
Oh,
They
you,
can.
You
They
and my
can.
boo?
They
No,
can.
He said, can your friend and your boo hang out?
They
Without
can
you.
and they
Who answered
have.
that? Without you. What did
did
you
I
say?
answer
When we were saying
Okay.
right there, you said,
Can I
we
answer
hang
for
out? No, we don't.
Oh,
The fuck?
oh.
I don't think that was the
Oh,
question.
No, that was the question.
I don't think that was
Oh.
the question.
It was the question. We
Well,
read
Jim, not like that. We hang out.
Can your friend and your boo hang out? For them, yes.
No, they were saying like, you're Dwayne's friend. You're my boo's friend.
I'm his friend, and I
We
hung
hang
out.
out. We hang out occasionally. We never hang out solo
No.
together.
Right, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah,
we're talking about
that's- yeah.
solo love.
We've never hang out. We've never
Exactly.
hung out solo.
But-
Is it because that's Dwayne's friend and not yours?
Because they live around this house. They live.
So what is that rule like?
I see what it is.
Why is that?
Jeremy has had this for a minute.
Why is it that rule?
Jeremy, you're Dwayne's friend. Like, you're
They label
Dwayne's
it like that
friend.
around this house.
They live like
I
that.
hate it. I hate it. I hate it with a passion. They do. They
You're
do.
Dwayne's friend.
put two- and I that is true.
And that's
Honestly,
fine.
I don't think
Because
like
I'm his friend.
okay.
I'm his friend, and
Say,
me and Dwayne have hung out.
say for instance, Drew, Hector and I are friends, and our boos are best friends. I don't think I can hang out with Drew. I really don't, because I don't think I have a
His head
connection.
like, you better not.
It's all about the connection. I don't think I have a connection with Drew. Plus my boo has that connection with him, so I don't want to overstep.
Oh, you try to clean it up, huh?
Right.
No.
Clean it
You're right.
up.
Actually, to be honest with you, I feel the same exact way as Trey does. Like, I think Dwayne is a great guy. I'm not, and it doesn't take away from him.
But
But
I
I believe that Dwayne is my man's friend. You understand? That's my
The
man's
man
friend.
hand with
Doesn't
the
mean
men
that.
and the women
right,
hand
Doesn't
with the
mean that
women.
we can't be friends, because we could be friends or we can be cool because you are my
We can be
man's
cool,
best
yeah.
friend. But we don't have to go out and chill just me and you, or not. If because our man's our best friends, and he wants to confide in me and say, hey Hector, I would like to talk to you. You know, me and Trey are having a couple of problems, knowing that Trey and I are very close.
But we're
Then
not.
that's different. But for Dwayne to be like, hey bitch, what you doing? Let's go to the mall, girl.
But it's not talking about.
So you would have a.
You
So
gonna hang
let me ask you.
All right,
Click.
hold on, Drew, the phone.
So you would have a problem.
Dwayne meant to call you. Sorry.
So you would have a problem if you heard that I was hanging out with Drew, and if me and Drew went to Sunday Fun Day together at Ember.
If y'all met there and y'all hung out there and it was a group of y'all, that's different. We're talking about solo. Didn't you say solo?
Yeah, that's what I said. That's what I'm talking about.
If you and
He's
Drew
calling
wanna go hang
Drew. He's
out,
calling Drew up and saying, "Let's go hang out."
why would you want to do that?
But again, let me ask you this.
I'm playing devil's advocate.
No,
I'm asking why can't
that's
I
a
do
question I would ask to any of my friends. Like,
No.
why would you call
Why
my
can't
man
I
to
do
hang
that?
out
But
with
let
my
me ask you
man?
this, Hector. Okay, but
He had-
okay. So but just listen to me closely, please.
Okay.
With your educated mind.
Right. Look. Right.
Open, educated
With your
mind.
open educated mind. You and I. Okay, no, the hell with it. Dwayne and I, we're close friends, right?
Y'all women.
And that, it doesn't matter either way. We're neither here nor there. So you just like us,
Apparently not, because I'm hanging with the men.
right?
Girl.
Bye, Felicia. So Dwayne and I, are friends, right? And we cool and we kicking it. Dwayne at work, but I'm always over their house with he and his spouse. I'm kicking it with them, laughing with Trey, hanging out, blah 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 blah. Dwayne at work, I'm like, Trey, what you doing today? You want to go to the mall?
See, what sucks for you, and it's unfortunate.
Damn.
so messy.
I'm just listening.
Wait, what sucks for you, and this is what always happens to people outside of a friendship, of a relationship.
Bye.
When you're not friends with one of the two, you try to be friends with both. What happens is if Trey and I are together and you're both of our friends, you wind up getting involved a lot. You understand? So for you, it's good that you're Dwayne's friend and not Trey's friend, but you and Trey, you and Trey are also friends. It's good because then you won't get pulled in and involved in a lot of the relationship drama. That's why But it's important to keep your friends, and my friends, my friends.
Okay, but that's my friend though. If I'm just trying to hang out with his spouse, why should it be just a big issue? If because you looking out, not okay.
Girl, just let it go.
No, because let me say this.
Let me just make one thing clear. Let me just make one thing very, very, very clear. I'm gonna make one thing very, 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 very clear. Clear as this glass was before his drink got in it. The reason that I wouldn't want Trey to hang with Drew by themselves has nothing to do with me not trusting Trey and me not trusting Drew.
But then I'm done.
It has not. I do not think if one time. I do not think at one time if Trey called Drew.
He's a Scorpio. He's jealous. That's what that is.
If Trey called Drew and was like, "Yo, let's hang out one day," I am a jealous person, but. You gotta also remember, I am in a relationship with my best friend of 8 to 9 years. So I know everything already. You're insecure because you don't know things. I'm secure because I know things. You understand what I'm saying? So once again, I am secure within my friendship and within my relationship that if Trey said, hey, look, I'm going to the movies, you wanna go? Nah, I'm at work today. Bitch, call Drew. I'm secure in our friendship and my relationship. That don't mean nothing.
That's why I was.
That don't mean nothing.
Okay.
But why is it a problem for you then?
Because my friend, you have to keep your friendship separated.
But you should have
some mutual
friends, but you should have.
But you should always have your friends, and he should always have.
But it's nothing. We're not even. And I can see masculine versus feminine or top bottom type thing. But if that's just my friend, then he's friends with us.
Well, let me just say this. It is one of those things that I've come to learn about moving down here. I've never had to worry about anything like that before I moved here, and so that's one of the reasons why I put the category in, because I get this kind of like weight on my back if I associate myself with someone that's my friend's boyfriend, and I'm just like, why am I feeling wrong about this? There's nothing, like, we're just chatting. But in circles like these, or just circles period, rumors start to go around, and he says, she says start to happen, and that person that you think that you're just being cool with starts to tell you about what's going on with him and the other person, and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, when you're 22.
Okay. Bad when we was
No, it happens now. It happens now.
What you gonna say?
Right. It happens with the kids. All I'm saying is,
I think if it's initial, like if I just met Hector and then I met Drew and we become friends together, like I think it'll make it better versus all of a sudden you start hanging out with Drew, or I started hanging out with Drew. I think it'll be better. I mean, because if I have friends, if I have my circle of friends, and I bring Andreas around, and Andreas starts talking and kicking with one of my friends, I don't know. It depends on it depends on our relationship.
Wait. You bring Andreas around. But then let's just say Andreas gets a better connection, a better vibe, and becomes cooler with Dwayne than he does with you. Meaning, y'all were associates, but when you brought him into the group, him and Dwayne just want to kick it and just want to be besties.
And that's true. It happens.
It happens. You can't help who you vibe with.
No, my situation right one. They started dating, who he was dating before him, we were really close friends. Well, when he introduced me to him, I fell in love with Dwayne. I mean, I just did. He was so cool, he was so sweet, he was so nice. After that, my friend kind of like died off, and then I became good friends with him. So it happens. It's true.
California love.
So I'm
not California love, but
well, let me ask this to Trey, because I met Trey first. So if I started hanging with Dwayne, will you feel some type of way?
No, not really.
Okay.
No,
yes, you.
Because I think I know you. I know you, and I know your personality.
But that's the same thing we're just saying, though. Even though you know the person, still you're gonna feel some type of.
I think it depends on my relationship with that person. I don't think I could allow my best friend to.
But why would you want to? That's my thing. Like,
Yeah, in certain situations,
I wouldn't
why would
even
you
want to. I wouldn't even want.
If you're my best friend and I invite you around other people that I know, and then you become best friends with them, like, why are you talking to them? You're my
I can
best
tell
friend.
you how many times some of Drew's friends will add me on Facebook. I know it's corny, but remember, my man is from on the other side of the country. So some of his friends will add me on Facebook. I don't add them, even though I've spoken to him on the phone, video chatted, all that. I don't add them because you're his friend.
Right.
You understand? My friends have told me, I'm like, oh, check on Drew's page. He posted this video, and they're like, me and Drew are not friends on Facebook, and I'm like, why not? You know, when you're in my house and we're all together, we're all having a great time, and you love him to death and to pieces, and because I'm your friend. I mean, I love Drew to death, don't get me wrong, but I'm your friend. Like, you are my heart. Like, you're my nigga. I mean, Drew's not my friend per se.
I mean, just to throw this out there, do you think it has anything to do with a control issue or
No.
Because it's perception.
I don't know.
It's perception.
Ultimately, I think it could go either way. A lot of bad could come out of the situation, a lot of good could come out of the situation. But I just think it's crazy that we can all hang out and have a good old time, but I can't exchange numbers with XYZ because that's somebody's boyfriend. But we were just kicking and having a good time, laughing up, having a great time. But now it's a problem if I talk on the phone with the boy.
You see, but wait.
No.
That's really messy for you to say that. Like, and I don't mean that. Don't take it offensively, but like, yeah.
But that's what we're saying, though.
But that's you're kind of messy for that. You're
That's what
messy
we're saying.
Okay.
I once again,
for saying that he doesn't,
he don't understand. Like, that's just messy. Like,
Because I feel
if
like
we're in
his
a group
brother
setting,
and
wait.
sister-
If we're in a group setting, you don't have to be friends with everyone
Yes.
you're cool with.
Yes.
But that's not even.
Wait. Yes, that's what you just said. You just said that.
It's not a necessity. I'm just
It's not
saying.
a necessity.
If you are cool with someone, it should be a problem. That's all I'm saying.
I think it should be left at that. If I introduce you to someone or bring you in my circle, y'all can become cool or whatever, but
In your circle is different because you're his man, so he has to be cool with the
But
people.
you know every damn body.
But don't
That's not
make
true.
don't make friends with them. It should be no exchanging numbers. You know, if we're cool, we're cool. I don't have Drew's number, but we're cool. We can hang out. We can have a conversation when I go around. But I don't need his number. I do not need his number.
But you know what's
I friend requested him on Facebook. Yes. I do not need his number. If I need to get in contact with him, I message him on Facebook. But that's rare.
call me to call him.
Or call him a call. Yeah. If something happened, if I need to really get in contact, I will message Drew on Facebook.
But
I do not need his.
But the thing
I don't need his
that
number. I don't need
it
to
makes
have a
me feel like
conversation.
you're trying to do something to keep yourself from having to go down that route. This your fucking friend. If this your best friend, you understand your mindset. You know where you at. This my friend. I can talk to his boyfriend if I want to. It's not that serious.
You can
not
talk.
that I don't.
You can talk. Y'all
I
don't
can't
need to
talk to
exchange
Drew
numbers.
because I don't want to exchange his number because I don't know.
Unless y'all have a personal
connection.
Unless y'all have a personal
That's
connection.
bullshit.
Right.
No,
Unless you have a
that's
personal
your situation.
connection.
Because if
y'all
you're
don't
strong
need-
enough in yourself to say, I can have 1,000 bitches' number, I can have all my friends, best friends, boyfriends' numbers, I can call them at any time, that's what you should be able to do.
Yeah.
If y'all
That's my feeling. You know what? The thing about it is, I don't have a spouse.
I just need
I'm
you
not
to
with
recant
nobody.
You know
so I
what?
can't
You
say
know
anything
what?
about
You
it.
say that because
Why?
I'm
you're not
with
in a
nobody.
relationship.
I just said that.
Right.
I'm not in a
You're the
relationship.
outside looking in. But
Right.
if you get in a relationship and once your man start trying to be cooly and buddy with your friends and you start seeing that your friends
That's issues with me though. That's
That's
nobody else.
a lot going on within the heart, boo.
That's me.
That's a lot going on
You should be
inside.
strong enough and confident enough to
you're
know that.
full of shit and I love you bitch, but you're full of shit.
I don't know what he's gonna say.
I'm vibing with you.
I just want to say something. I gave away my number 2 weeks ago. Is that a problem?
Yo,
day,
get
you
your
know
tickets
what I'm
right.
saying?
Straight
Come
again,
see it,
don't
you know what I'm
matter.
saying? We gotta let them know what it is.
I
You know,
rap
it's
because I wanna
beef
do
fan
it.
in this building. You know,
Straight
I got
again, don't matter.
do it. Fan.
Brothers from another mother. Yo, straight gay don't matter.
Beef fam.
Brothers from another mother.
cares?
Care? Who cares?
Yo,
You
we're
care?
living it up. We're living it up.
I don't care.
Living it up.
Straight and gay don't matter.